It is with very great pleasure that I call upon Mr. Metcalfe, who is known to us all, who will propose the toast of the school. Mr. Metcalfe.
That'll do. Well, Reverend President, Very Reverend Canon, Reverend Fathers and Gentlemen, this, I need hardly say, is an historic occasion. And not often nowadays do Canon Parsons and I appear on the same bill. For 25 years, we performed some kind of duet. More often than not, we were in harmony. Tonight, I am very pleased to be playing the introductory comedy role, to be followed in due course by Canon Parsons in the star turn, the head of the bill. I'm very proud to be the first this evening to pay a short tribute to Canon Parsons, and quite seriously to his single-minded purpose. By way of contrast, he reminds me of a certain tribe of African pygmies. These African pygmies were called the Helawi tribe. Those who've heard it will keep quiet. For those who haven't heard it, these pygmies were about 5 feet high, and they lived in grassland which was about 6 or 7 feet high. So they spent the whole of their lives jumping about, shouting out, where the hell are we? Where the hell are we? Well, I say, that is by contrast to Canon Parsons. He always knew where the hell he was. And he knew where he was going. Well, many present this evening will have heard the official farewell, official goodbye that took place on the speech day last July, when Canon Parsons, with mock seriousness, proposed, or not proposed, but preached his own panegyric, Coram Cardinali. Well, actually, of course, that evening was not the end of of the Parsonian era at Finchley Grammar School. That took place very quietly one afternoon in August, when somebody set fire to the old woodshed. Actually, of course, I think that Canon Parsons resigned just at the right time. Because, as you well know, Finchley very short will become a smokeless zone. Now, in a smokeless zone, what would Canon Parsons do with 30 years' supply of firewood? Anyhow, I'm not here to poach on somebody else's preserves and speak all night about Canon Parsons, although I could well do so. I'm here to propose the school, although it's awfully hard to separate the school from Canon Parsons. But it's an easy toast to propose because the school is a great school. The company here this evening is a living tribute to the great work of Finchley Grammar School. And the hundreds here this evening represent many hundreds of others in various parts of the world. Now, traditionally, Catholic grammar schools are supposed to produce priests, doctors, and teachers. Well, we've produced our priests, and we are proud to say that many of them are in very important positions in this archdiocese. I see this evening Father Gunston, who followed the footsteps of Canon Parsons, because Canon Parsons too was once upon a time the director of the Holy Childhood. I notice here present Father Hubert Richards. Now those of my friends who can read tell me that Father Richards writes very erudite articles in very learned periodicals. And before very long, he'll be summoned in post haste to Rome to keep the Council Fathers in order. Doctors, well, quite frankly, I've seen a good half dozen this evening in various parts, various states of intoxication. I suppose the most distinguished of them would be Dr. Cyril Skerr, who, as you know, was the anaesthetist to King George VI. As for teachers, I know a good deal about those round here, because actually 1/4 of my own staff is made up of old boys of Finchley Grammar School. No wonder. What was that? No wonder it's the happiest and most hard-working staff in the whole of Willerton. I suppose you can class as teachers university dons. Our first, of course, was Alan Bliss, the first professor of English that this school produced. And we're very proud, I think, to have with us this evening the most recent of these great dons, one who was recently elected as a Fellow of King's College, Cambridge. I refer to Mr. David Luscombe. I think his contemporaries could foresee what was ahead of him, because they called him by that rather crisp and complimentary nickname, Wonderloaf. In many other walks of life, of course, as I look around me, I see distinguished people in all the professions, all the respectable professions. And also I see tycoons of commerce and industry. Now, we're very proud of them all, but of course we're especially proud of those old boys who've entered public life. Representative of that body, we have with us this evening Mr. Hugh Rossi. As you know, he is a councillor of the borough of Hornsey, and for the time being, a county councillor of the county of Middlesex. He's following in the footsteps, of course, of that very great Catholic warrior, Mr. Maurice Burns, God rest his soul. Well, all these add up to a very fine body of laymen. And I think that as a result of the deliberations in Rome, when the proceedings of the Vatican Council are published, we'll probably find a very important role given to the laity of, well, not this country alone, but the whole world. And I'm quite sure that we at Finchley Grammar School will be very pleased indeed that we have provided the kind of person who can meet this challenge to the laity, which I'm quite sure will be shortly forthcoming. Well, you gentlemen represent the past of Finchley Grammar School. You'll all be pleased to know, as I am too, that the school goes from strength to strength. Take one example, academic successes. I read in the latest number of the Tolly, incidentally my copy seems to be full of tributes to Canon Parsons. I opened the first page, his picture was there, upside down. Well, I read in my Tolly that last July some 29 old boys graduated at various universities. That's a magnificent achievement. It takes me in my mind back to 3 years ago when I was a guest on one of the boats on the river at Oxford, and that afternoon, it was the Saturday of 8th week, no fewer than 6 old boys of Finchley Grammar School were rowing that afternoon for their college. I don't think any other grammar school in the country can match that kind of thing. In athletics, the school still goes on well. I understand that they're now producing athletes who are internationals as well as national champions. I hope that the standard of soccer remains as high as it always was in the past. I hope that the infiltration of a new game where even the ball is eccentric will not militate against the high standards of the past. I understand there's still a very healthy social spirit at the school. Sixth form dances and what have you. All producing young men who are cultivated and who know something about the social graces. It was not a young man of Finchley Grammar School who at the age of 18 decided that he ought to do something about his knowledge of the opposite sex. He went down to find out more about girls and what have you. He went down to Foyle's, down Charing Cross Road. He perused the various bookshelves down there and eventually found just the volume he wanted, How to Hug. He took this home after paying 30 bob for it, went up to the privacy of his room. Imagine his surprise when he found that How to Hug was the 14th volume of the Encyclopedia Britannica. Well, Mr. President, I think we can say that Finchley Grammar School has built up an unenviable reputation. Under Canon Parsons, the school has had a great past. Under its new head, I'm sure it will have a great future. I personally would like to wish Father Groves every success in his new position. And now, gentlemen, I call upon you all to charge your glasses, to rise and to drink to the toast of the school.
Gentlemen, the toast is the school.
School.